Welcome to the Daily Decant, your 5-minute briefing on the world of wine. Each episode delivers practical insights to help you choose, order, and talk about wine with more confidence in everyday social settings. Let's get into today's decant. It's Saturday, and today's episode is about turning everything we've covered this week into a practical system, because knowledge without application is just trivia. And so by the end of today, you should have a clear, simple framework for how you stock your everyday wine situation so that at any point, for any occasion, you can open something genuinely good without planning, overthinking, and spending more than $25. Here's a 6-bottle framework. So I want you to think about your everyday wine supply as 6 slots, always filled, always rotating. 6 categories, a bottle in each, and when a bottle runs out, you replace it. And here they are. Slot 1. An everyday red from one of Tuesday's categories, a Côte du Rhône or a Cru Beaujolais or a Chilean Carmenere. Something versatile, food-friendly, always appropriate. Budget should be between $12 and $18. Slot 2, a more interesting red for when you want something to talk about. A Mencia from Bierzo, a Nero Diavola from Sicily, a Barbera d'Asti from a serious producer. Budget $15 to $20 is appropriate. Slot 3, an everyday white. A Gruner Veltliner, or a Vermentino, or a South African Chenin Blanc. Something crisp, food-friendly, appropriate for warm evenings or a light meal. Budget here should be $12 to $20. Slot 4, a wild card white for when you want something more distinctive. Think Chacoli, Muscadet, Surly, Greek Assyrtiko. Budget should be $14 to $22. Next is slot 5, an everyday sparkling, a Cremant de Loire or a Serious Cava or a Prosecco Superior. For aperitivo, for celebrations, or just for a Tuesday. Budget here, $15 to $22. And finally, slot 6, a rosé specifically from this time of year, a dry Provence or Oregon Pinot Noir rosé for the summer months, or a serious Tavel that will work year-round. Budget, $15 to $25 here. So 6 bottles, never more than $25 each, unless you really want to, but you just don't have to. That's the point. Total investment around $120 to stock the whole set. That's your everyday cellar. It's not a cellar in the traditional sense. You're not aging these wines. You're rotating them, opening them, drinking them, replacing them. The goal is to have the right answer to the question of what to open tonight. So, where do you find these wines? 3 options in order of my preference. First, a local independent wine shop. This is by far the best option. An independent shop with a knowledgeable buyer will have curated exactly the kinds of wines we've talked about this week. Interesting producers, value-focused, with someone on staff who can explain why a specific bottle is worth your $15. Build a relationship with a good local shop and your wine life will improve dramatically. Second, Total Wine or similar large format retailers. The selection is enormous and the prices are competitive, but the staff knowledge is more variable. Use the knowledge you've built this week to navigate confidently and know what you're looking for before you walk in. It's kind of fun to do some research ahead of time and kind of come in with a plan as well. Third, online retailers like wine.com or Vivino. Excellent for finding specific producers you've heard about with shipping to most states. I also like to join my local restaurant wine clubs. So I live in Denver. There's a restaurant named Olivia. There's one named Osteria Alberico. They both have fabulous wine programs, and they also have wine clubs for members who want to join. So they'll curate a couple of interesting things for you every month or every quarter, and they'll ship it to you so you can see what their somms would pick. So that's pretty fun as well. So for the wine shop script for everyday wine, say I'm looking for an everyday red and an everyday white, under $20 to $25 each. I want something with real character and a regional identity, not just a reliable brand. What are the most interesting things you have in that price range right now? That question tells any good wine buyer that you have taste, you're not brand driven, and that you're open to discovery. You'll almost always walk out with something better than you would have found on your own. Final thought and goal of the week. Honestly, the goal of the host show is to make you feel empowered rather than intimidated at the wine shelf and on the wine list. You don't need to know everything. You need to know enough to ask good questions, recognize quality signals, and trust your own palate. The $25 bottles we've covered this week taste better to someone who understands why they're interesting, because understanding a wine changes how you experience it. When you know that the Muscadet in your glass comes from ancient vines on granite soils near the Atlantic coast, aged on its lees for extra complexity, that knowledge adds a dimension to the drinking experience that no amount of money can buy. That's what the show is all about. Not prestige, not expense, just understanding. Come back tomorrow for the master list of every wine mentioned this week. You won't want to miss it. That's today's Daily Decant. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe and share with your friends so you can continue building your wine knowledge in just a few minutes a day. See you tomorrow for the next Decant.